it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today we're going to create some perfect pattern paper backgrounds for these adorable little images. The supplies are all from the Simon Says Stamp June 2022 card kit called Happiest Wishes. From my background paper, I picked two of the Paper Rose pattern papers included in the kit and trimmed them down with some basic rectangle dies. You could also use a paper trimmer. I opted to use the die as it made it very easy to precisely cut exactly where I wanted to in the pattern papers. That was especially important for the block pattern papers so that I could just get kind of that like 3x4 section of blocks. And then of course I did that for the balloons as well. From the Happiest Wishes stamp set included in the kit, also available for individual purchase, I am going to stamp the puppy with the balloon, the cat with the balloon, and two of the clouds. We're going to color these images in with Copic markers. I've stamped my images on some of the Nina smooth white cardstock included in the kit using Hero Art's INTENS-IFIED black ink. The marker colors I'm using are listed in the description below the video here on YouTube for easy reference. I decided to do a blue balloon for the dog and a red, kind of a reddish orange balloon for the cat, pulling my colors directly from those background pattern papers. I love the mix of pattern papers and stamped and colored images on a card together. It really makes the whole process super quick and easy. So if you're looking to create a bunch of cards, this kit for June, you guys, is an incredible one. I think you're going to love it so much. Around the edge of my clouds, I am going to take some other lighter blue markers and I'm going to kind of just draw some little areas of blue, and then I'm going to fade those out with a colorless blender. I thought that faded it a little too much, so I'm going to go back with my blue, a little bit lighter blue, and then a colorless blender to get the exact color I want. I still want my clouds to be white, but I want them to have a little bit of a blue tint to them. Next, we're going to color in the puppy with some earth tone markers. Again, those will all be listed in the description below the video here on YouTube, as well as I tried to keep the caps up so you could see. We're going to do an all over E55 for the puppy to begin with a little E59 for most of the nose, and to add in some dark shading around some of the areas that would naturally be darker. Next, we're going to take E57 and blend that out a little bit. And then we'll go back with E55 and blend it all together. I tend to err on the side of adding a little bit less to start with because you can always add more dark color as needed. I just love his cute little face floating up into the clouds in this case with his balloon. I think I went back with E59 and added more dark to his nose, and I'm using E57 to add a little dot detail and give some texture to the dog's fur. We're going to go back to the cloud, as I mentioned a little bit ago, and go back with our B21 marker. And I think I like that little bit darker shading on the cloud. Now you might notice on the finished card that it appears that there's 3 clouds on this panel. We're only using 2, but one of them is going to be cut in half, and we can use the leftover piece from where we put the first cloud so that it appears that there's 3. I always love to maximize use of any images like that. On the finished clouds, there is some dot detail, but I don't actually add that until I think they're on the card and I realized I felt like they needed a little bit more. We're going to take our R02 marker and give a nice base to the balloon that the cat's holding. Then we're going to use our R08, or yes, R08 and R05 markers to add the rest of the color. Now this red color combination comes directly from the red color from the pattern paper. Same as the blue balloon. I just tried to pick Copic markers that closely resembled a color from that background pattern paper. I will say I slightly oversaturated the balloon. I probably should have given it a little bit more time to dry because I think it did kind of try to wick out, yeah, up there near the top. If you give it a little bit more time before this blending it all out, you won't have quite as much of that, but I did manage to hide it with a white pen later on. For our kitty, we're going to do a black kitty here. I did go and add a little bit of pink that's going to be underneath the grays on the pads of the feet, as well as the insides of the ear. Then we're going to use some warm gray markers to add all of our shading. I start with just a little bit of dark and gradually work my way lighter. You can always go back in and add darker markers later. I will take my darkest marker and add some little stripes to the kitty's fur, as well as a little dot detail here and there. Want to make sure that I blend out any of those darker areas, as well as color over the bottoms of the feet. I just wanted there to be that little hint of pink underneath. We will add a little pink to the cheeks on our kitty. I do think it kind of made harsh looking cheeks. So if that happens, you can always go back with one of your warm gray markers and kind of lessen that harshness. You can see I'm just going in with the warm gray and I kind of colored over it, but you still get a little of that pink and that looks a little bit better. A little dot detail before I go in and add some stripes. These are going to be very, very subtle stripes and not be super distinctive. But that is totally okay. I like all of these little subtle ways to really make the image shine. This card is basically one stamped and die cut image, a background pattern paper, and 2 greetings. So very simple. Here's that white pen that I used to kind of disguise the fact that some of the ink wicked out of the line. Instead of recoloring it, I like to try to find ways to fix little mistakes like that. I'm taking a Uni-Ball white Signo gel pen, adding detail to the balloon, to the cheeks on the dog and the kitty. And that looks cute. We will go ahead and die cut our images and start putting it all together. We did die cut our background panels using basic rectangle dies from Simon Says Stamp. I've already stamped my greetings on both of the backgrounds with black ink, and now I'm taking foam adhesive and placing it on the back of all of my die cut images. Where the balloon string is, that's a little bit narrow, so I like to take some foam adhesive squares and cut them into super teeny tiny thin strips and place them under that area so that it's nice and secure. Then we're simply going to pop our images in place. For the puppy card, we are going to add the clouds. For the balloons, I felt like that background had enough going on. I didn't really want to cover up any of the balloons, so we'll only add the kitty. Now with my clouds, I'm going to put the big one down here kind of right underneath our sentiment. This is where I'm going to go back with my B21 marker, and we're going to add some of that dot detail, which I think just takes those clouds up a level and adds such a fun finishing touch. Then we're going to place our other cloud up along the left side, cut off the other half, place some foam adhesive under that half of the die cut, and place it up along the right side. So we've made use of all of the pieces of that cloud. It gives the illusion of 3 clouds when we've only stamped and colored 2. I also want to add that little dot detail to these clouds as well. Isn't that so cute? And it's so easy. I could see making tons of these cards in a very short time, assembly line style. If you wanted, I think these would also make a really cute party invitation. There's even that you're invited to a party greeting in the Happiest Wishes stamp set, and you could make a whole bunch of party invitations. I'm going to take some Trinity stamps, Crafty Love, little red hearts, and add them to my card. I think I'm going to add about 3 of those to the puppy card and 1 to the cat card. We're also going to add a scattering of gold star confetti to the cat card that we don't add to the puppy card. Really, I let the direction of each card background dictate how much I added. Because the dog card had clouds and hearts, I left the cat card with more star confetti, and then I just didn't feel like it needed as many hearts since we have the heart balloon. Again, I'm going to cut a foam adhesive square into super thin strips that I can place along the balloon string, and we will pop our card in place. I used the other little skinny piece where the tail goes so that it's nice and flush, and I don't have to worry about any area of the popped up die cut kind of smooshing down in the mail. So cute. I love the little addition of that kitty. I'm going to add a scattering of little dots of glue all over the background. Add my gold star confetti. I love this matte gold star confetti. It's my favorite. And it adds a great little sparkle and fun to these balloons. I love this balloon background. Now, when I am creating with balloons, one of my very favorite things to do is add glossy accents or crystal lacquer. So today I added crystal lacquer to the balloon on, or the stamped and die cut balloon on each card, and I allowed it to completely dry. I do believe I let mine dry overnight, but it just adds the perfect glossy finishing touch. I absolutely love it. We're going to place each of these panels on a white top fold card base, and our cards are all finished. If you want to, you can even add additional stamped sentiments inside of your card or some extra stamped images. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for these 2 birthday themed cards featuring the Simon Says stamp June 2022 card kit called Happiest Wishes. The supplies I used to create these cards is listed and linked below the video here on YouTube for your convenience. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.